Simon, welcome to the show. How are you doing?
Thanks for having me. I'm very well, thanks.
Okay, 6 players have been released. That means there are some obvious gaps in the squad. What is the first one that you are looking to plug?
Yeah, it's a good question. I think last year, obviously, we got Mitchell Starc in the auction and bought him for a big price. So to have that money available, well, I think we're obviously going to be looking at some quality overseas bowlers to replace him. And we've got 5 overseas slots open. I think the first priority is probably looking at the overseas quick.
Thanks for that, Simon. Now, banking on youngsters, particularly the likes of Kamlesh Nagarkoti, what did you see in them that you decided to trust them in the most dynamic format of the game?
I think what we trusted was the fact that they're good young talent and it was a 3-year auction. So we took a long-term view with them and we thought, you know, if we can get access to the cream of the crop from the under-19 team, which was really successful in New Zealand and showed a lot of promise. And I think, you know, already it's paid dividends in the fact that, you know, Shubman Gill had an outstanding IPL. Shivam Mavi showed a lot of great signs. Unfortunately, Kamlesh Nagarkoti was injured, but, you know, from all reports, he's as talented as the other two I just mentioned. So, you know, hopefully if we can get him up and running in the next year or so, then, you know, it's really exciting for the franchise to have 3 young special talents in our midst.
Now, I have been a part of the KKR squad for a while now, so I know that they're a family. But when you talk about buying a cricketer in the auction, do you also take a look at their personality and whether they'll fit into the entire KKR setup?
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, that's probably the hardest thing to judge because it's a subjective decision that's made on, you know, asking a few questions around the traps to, you know, find out about a player's character and where they play at other teams, maybe finding out, you know, from teammates. But more often than not, you know, in terms of the environment that's been created by Jacques and Venki, you know, as CEO, it is a family and the guys that come in are expected to, you know, to be a part of it, but they're also made to feel welcome. And I think that's what helps in terms of guys being able to come into a settled environment. And we try to be as consistent as possible with, you know, in the decisions we make and not judging players too harshly on just maybe 1 year's of performance. So, you know, personality definitely comes into it. And more often than not in cricket, a lot of the personalities around the traps are very good.
Now, you talk about the hardest part, Simon, but we'll ask you the hardest question possibly. That could there be a wild entry in this IPL auction from KKR's perspective? Somebody like a Fawad Ahmed from TKR or maybe an Ali Khan?
Well, look, you never say never. We obviously sprung a little bit of a surprise at the end of the auction last year with Javon Sells. No one really probably knew about him. He had a very good CPL the year before with the ball and also finishing a few games with the bat. And given the connection, obviously, with TKR, that could happen. But unfortunately, it's hard to say what's going to unfold in the auction because it's so unpredictable with the timing of who comes in which sets, how much money you've got left and what sort of player you need. So a lot of it does come down to the day, but you can never write off us making a late move with someone from TKR.
The coach of KKR keeping his cards very, very close to his chest, as he should. Of course, the Vivo IPL auction is on the 18th at 2:30 p.m. on the Star Sports Network. But thank you so much, Simon, for joining us once again on another episode of Night Club.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.